Julia Sims is the heart of her family, a hard worker, and the survivor of a massive cardiac arrest.
The symptoms that I began to notice that were so intense were in my upper shoulders and neck and back. Had indigestion for a long time. I was extremely exhausted, past anything that I had ever felt before.
Her husband Jeff and daughter Brett left home thinking she was recovering from a bad bout of the flu. By coincidence, they returned home at the same time, and as it turned out, just in the nick of time.
We come in, go directly upstairs. Julia was laying in the bed. She actually sat up in the bed and was chatting with us.
And that was the first time she really had, like, her personality back.
I put a pair of shoes in the closet, and when I turned back around, Julia's head was down, sitting on the bed. She didn't move, so I walked over to her, lifted her head up. Her eyes were set. She was not responding at all. Her eyes were a yellowish green look. I once hollered for Brett, and then I laid her back on the bed.
Really, at that point, I had no idea what was going on.
I had 911 on the line, which the young lady was fantastic that I was on with. Within a minute, we timed it. We were starting CPR, and I had no CPR training whatsoever. Within 4 minutes, I felt this guy push me off of Julia. It was one of the first responders, firemen.
I prepared her and prepared the FRX AED to put the pads on her chest and delivered the first shock. We shocked her 6 times without the AED to shock her heart and bring it from ventricular fibrillation back to perfusing a good rhythm. It's most likely that she would not have survived.
She was brought quickly to the cath lab. It was a very difficult case. She was very unstable on the table, and we had to shock her a number of times and do CPR during the procedure. Long procedure. Ultimately, after several hours operating on her, she left the cath lab alive. Tenuous, but alive.
In my opinion, the planets really aligned that day. Had Julia been by herself, the outcome would not have been as it is now.
After being in a coma for 10 days, Julia came to with a little memory loss, but minimal damage.
I feel great. I feel great. My daughter helps me out a lot around the house, and husband helps me out a lot. Everything's worked much better and quicker than I ever dreamed it would.
To see someone in the condition Julia was in when we started, and to see her today, it's truly amazing.
Now that she is recovering, Julia is on a mission to be healthy and spread the word about how to know when you're facing sudden cardiac arrest.
The classic sign is crushing chest pain. Pressure that's episodic, that radiates into the throat, the jaw, down the arm, associated with shortness of breath, sweatiness. Those are kind of the classic signs.
I had neither one of those things leading up to this.
Women, for some reason, have not so classic signs. Shortness of breath, nausea, fatigue, neck and back pain, epigastric pain. A lot of discomfort between the abdomen and the chin can be misconstrued. Doctors can say, well, you're having reflux, or you're having chest wall pain, or you're having an anxiety attack. Even if the tests are appropriate and the results come back normal, doesn't necessarily mean you don't have heart disease.
Julia is also on a mission to educate people on the importance of defibrillators like the Philips HeartStart AED, which helped save her life.
Without the defibrillator, I don't think I would have been here.
I think the defibrillator is really what got Julia's heart, the rhythm started back. I don't think she would have made it without that.
AEDs definitely save lives. They save lives because there's no other way to get the heart in rhythm. And if the heart stops and there's no circulation, the patient is dead. Had she not had the quality CPR or defibrillation, we would have had a different outcome. That allowed her to get to the hospital.
It's imperative that automated defibrillators be available in every city and town.
I look forward to buying one. I look forward to buying a defibrillator that I can use in my home. Because it's one of those things that you hope you never need, but when you do need it, you hope you have it.
Julia has been forever changed since her cardiac arrest. She has formed close bonds with her rescuers and has nothing but gratitude towards everyone who made it possible for her to be here today.
I feel very fortunate and very blessed. Everything that happened that day was just, it all was perfect. And those people who developed that defibrillator were a part of that.